Good hello friends and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to talk about the books that I read in May. I've been kind of seeing this go around lately where people only really pick the books that they want to talk about, but they'll mention all the books that they read. So with that being said, I'm gonna do that too, because quite frankly I don't want to talk about all of the books that I read in May. If you wanted to see everything that I read, you can check out my Goodreads and see all of the little reviews and whatnot, and yeah, you can definitely enjoy my thoughts there. I'm pretty active on Goodreads when it comes to updating my books, so definitely check that out. So I have my wonderful tracker here, and I'm going to go ahead and read off all of the books that I read in May. A Very Large Expansive Sea by Tahereh Mafi, The Fiery Crown by Jeffrey Kennedy, We Were Beautiful by Heather Hepler, The Wicked King by Holly Black, Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, Fence Volumes 1 through 3 by C.S. Pacat, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, Lovers Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson, Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren, Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman, Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, and 5 More Minutes by Shannon O'Connor. So that means in the month of May, I read 14 books for a total of 2,853 pages with 50 hours listened and an average rating of 3.8. I think overall I had a pretty solid reading month. I didn't really hate a ton of the books on my TBR this month, but with that being said, in terms of my May TBR, I only really missed 2 of the 6 that I had picked out, those being Queen of Quaint Whispers and Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Now I gotta admit, I have no intentions of reading Daughter of Smoke and Bone, so that is going to be another book that I unhaul. I'm pretty content with that. I'm okay with that. You guys will be seeing my TBR, or you should have already seen my TBR for June. I'm not really rolling over any of the books from May into June just because I don't really feel like it. If I clearly didn't read them in May, there was probably no real reason to want to read them in June. We are not talking about those books though. We are talking about the books that I did read in May that I loved and have a couple of things to say about. I did do a full series review of the Folk of the Air series, and I'll go ahead and link that. I don't know which side it's on. I think it's on this side. I hope it's on this side because then I look kind of stupid. But I'll go ahead and link it here and in the description below. And I also did a review and reading vlog for Station 11. You guys know I love Station 11. It was one of my top books of the year. So check those out for more thoughts there. I'm going to start off with Fence Volumes 1 through 3. These kind of took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to enjoy them as much as I did. I gave Volume 1 a 3-star, Volume 2 a 4-star, and Volume 3 a 5-star. And you can tell that I definitely was more invested as I continued the series. I don't think I really appreciated it from the very beginning, mostly because I was kind of annoyed from all the characters. They're all so... As an athlete, I know what being competitive means, but I also know what being petty means. So I found that they were a little bit petty for what it was worth, and there's still a lot that we don't know to the story that I think we could have had a little bit more explanation in the 3 volumes that I read. Granted, I did really enjoy them. I thought they were so much fun, and I liked that although there were like slight hints of romance, it wasn't overdone, to say the least. It was like such a relief to read something that was about just like what it was supposed to be about. Like, it was just about fencing. There was no underlying, well, there was, but like it wasn't suffocating in terms of it being shown. So I hope that makes sense. I had a lot of fun reading these. They were super cute and the art was really well done, and I totally used my Hoopla borrows for those volumes. Up next, I read a couple of romance novels, those being Lovers Like Us, Dating You, Hating You, and The Unexpected Everything. Dating You, Hating You was a book that I kind of just picked up because it was available, and you know, I went through a Christina Lauren joy time, and I think I'm just kind of over it. Who is calling me? Excuse you. I think I'm just kind of over it, if I'm going to be blatantly honest. I don't love their writing. I thought this was going to be like The Hating Game, but it was like The Hating Game's sad cousin. Such a bad way to describe something. But like, I gave this a 3-star. I didn't even think it was the best of Christina Lauren's books, and overall it just wasn't as enjoyable as I thought it would have been. Next is Lovers Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is a super smutty, what is it, like an alpha male romance? Whatever. It was annoying. It was so long, and I also gave this a 3-star. I just really enjoyed the first book a lot, that I kind of had some high hopes going into this. So I guess that's partially my fault, but the fact of the matter remains that it just wasn't as good as the first book. I do like how Kristen and Becca Ritchie really develop the families that they have in this series. This is the Lovers Like Us, Bodyguards, and Billionaire series. It's a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. It's a really cool concept and I do have a lot of fun reading it, but I just think it's so long for no reason. And that is the exact reason I feel the same way about The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This book is 519 pages long. 519 pages, like, it doesn't need to be that long. I also gave this a 3-star read. So maybe it's just me being in this mood right now where none of these contemporary romances are like anything special to me. They're all kind of average, they're all kind of cute. Nothing is really blowing my mind away, and it continues to be the trend. And the fact of the matter is, like, I've read 3 different types of contemporary romances and all 3 are still 3-star ratings. So with The Unexpected Everything, I knew I was going into something kind of fluffy, kind of cute. I actually buddy read this with 2 friends on Instagram. I'll link them down below. They're awesome, and it was so much fun to buddy read this with them, even though they finished the book 2 days earlier than I did. And like, I was just behind, but it was funny because I was like spamming them with texts. Anyway, that's besides the point. I also read Thunderhead this month. That was 504 pages. A fantasy, dystopian, whatever you want to call it, novel versus a fluffy contemporary should not be the same pages. Like, I don't know. That's just what I think. Overall, like, the romances that I read this month were kind of bland and disappointing. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about those. In terms of Thunderhead, and I'm actually currently reading The Toll, you guys will see another series review coming up on that soon. The last book that I read is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, which is book 1 in the Dark Artifices. I'd already read Lady Midnight sometime last year. I really enjoyed it. I love being set at the LA Institute, and considering the fact that like Los Angeles is my home, it was awesome to see places like Malibu and Santa Monica mentioned. But talking about like the beach side makes me really happy because I've been spending a lot more time at the beach lately, or just driving up the coast, and really refreshing to have a book set in LA in the way that it was. Dating You, Hating You actually was set in LA, and I thought that was really cool. So I feel like this is kind of all over the place, and I'm really sorry for that, but it's fine. What more do we expect out of me? I listened to Lady Midnight on audio, and it was just so much fun to kind of dive back into the Shadowhunter world without having like Jace and Clary and that entire initial story thrown into my face. I liked being with a new set of characters with small references to the OGs. I think being able to establish a new set of characters in the way that Cassandra Clare did was really well done. I forgot how much pain is in Mark's story, and moving forward from there and seeing the struggles that the rest of the family has to go through continues to be, I think, one of my favorite parts of Lady Midnight. I am currently reading Lord of Shadows, so I just love being able to dive back into this world in the capacity that I am. It just feels really good to read a book about my favorite city and about some of my favorite places that I get to explore when I don't necessarily get to explore them. So that is it for my wrap up. This was something super quick that I wanted to just kind of film, and I'm not really a big fan of wrap-ups, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't like talking about the books that I read for some apparent reason because I think I can't always articulate how I'm feeling about them. If you guys have any like tips and recommendations as to how I can really narrow down my thoughts about certain books at the end of the month, I would love to hear them. I would also like to take a moment to talk about the current state of affairs that are going on in our world. In wrapping up May, I would have never expected that we would have gone from being in a pandemic to seeing another life taken away. Living in LA, I love how diverse this city is and how much love can be surrounded in it. But it also kills me to see that every day the African American community continues to be discriminated against. It kills me to see that after years of oppression, they still continue to fight for their rights. I talked about this on my personal Twitter, and as an Armenian, we fight for the genocide to be recognized every day, every year. We march and we rally, and that is something that we do for that kind of recognition. The fact of the matter remains that although yes, I am Armenian and I do the same things, it hurts me to see that the Black community continues to fight for what they are constitutionally— I don't even have the— I'm having such a hard time with this because you shouldn't have to fight for your rights. You shouldn't have a cop sitting on someone's neck and causing them to die literally in, like, on— Aside from the passion that I've been seeing from so many people who are unifying and are protesting and are marching and are in LA doing as much as they can, and in different parts of the world doing as much as they can to support the Black Lives Matter movement. I have signed countless, and I mean countless, change.org petitions, or wherever you'll find a petition, please sign them. If you have that extra money for that extra book, donate it to these movements that need it a little bit more. If you can, please use your voice. Be the voice that changes things. I feel like the efforts that I've made feel so small, but I know for a fact that I am part of this change because I've signed the petitions, I've donated as much as I can, and I'm using a platform like this to create some awareness. I never expected that wrapping up May would include this, but I refuse to stay silent. I refuse to see the oppressed continue to go through this, and I won't stop fighting until we can no longer call them the oppressed. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Instead of leaving a like or a comment or subscribing, go down into my description and sign a petition. If you can donate, please donate. And if you don't know where to start, get educated.